Alright, boys. Today I want to introduce you to a new feature of the website, which Lurkins has been working on besides the website, and it's called our NHL Gamer Stats API. And what it does is it fetches all of your team's challenge games from EA's server and it shows them in these three left columns right here. So, as you can see, yesterday, Germany's finest, my team, played against Belize. You can see the exact date and time, and you can also see the result. And then the only thing you need to do is select the game from the drop-down menu, and there will be some more games in there if you played more than one game, which all of you do, but the first game is already reported. So make sure you select the correct game. Germany's finest on the home side, Germany's finest on the home side, and then you can click Submit Stats. And what it does is, it does most of the work for you, without any additional input, which is pretty cool. So what this means is it tells us how many goals were scored, it tells us how many total shots we got in a game, the total amount of hits, and also the amount of face-offs won. It tells us all of the individual player stats, but there are a few things that we cannot fetch from this because EA won't tell us. This could improve in the future, but for now it is what it is. And it's still saving a good amount of time. So you need to add time on attack for both teams. You also need to enter the amount of penalties for both teams. You need to select the 3 stars of the game, and you need to enter all goal and penalty events. And I'll go through this with you quickly because I have all the in-game pictures in front of me. So time on attack for Belize was 3:54, and time on attack for Germany's finest was 7:54. Amount of penalties was 1 for each side. And now that we have a total of 2 penalties selected, you will see that 2 lines of penalties will appear down here. And just to show you how it works, you can select 3. 3 plus 1 is 4, and you will have a total of 4 lines of penalties down here. Alright, let's go back to 1. Then we need to select the 3 stars of the game, which were Dio, Soderstrom, and Setsuk, all 3 of Germany's finest. And then we need to add the goal and penalty events. And you need to remember, if you open up this tool, you report for both teams, so it's one captain's work, which means we scored a total of 1 plus 6 goals in this game, and you will have a total of 7 goal lines down here. So don't forget to report your opponent's goal as well. Okay, so the first goal was scored at 2:31 in the first period, and it was scored by Dio, assist by Setsuk, and it was shorthanded. The second goal was scored at 18:44. It was scored by Dio as well, and it was a power play goal. The third one was scored in the second period at 31:08, which means it's 11:08. Also scored by Dio. Assists by Setsuk and Soderstrom. The fourth one was scored at 13:39 by Soderstrom without an assist. The fifth goal, I know it's kind of boring to tell you all this, but all of you have done it in the past, so we know how this works. The fifth goal was scored at 1:59 by Dio, and assist was made by Reza. And then we have another goal at... Oops, wrong line. We have another goal scored at 7:07, and it was scored by Soderstrom, assisted by Reza and Setsuk. And the good thing is, if you have noticed, it only shows the players which actually scored points in this game. So players like Petihino 1 don't even show up down here, so this is much more fail-proof than before. And now we have reported the 6 goals for Germany's finest, and now you need to remember to report the 1 game for Belizzi as well. So their goal was scored at 3:19:59, and it was Ilmari Chianto. Alright, so those are all of the goals scored. The penalties are left. Germany's finest penalty was drawn at 0:50. The penalized player was Reza, and it was for interference. And Belizzi's penalty was drawn in the first period as well at 18:35, and it was Kalervo Janko. The penalty was a tripping penalty. The press release is left, and I'll be done with it very quickly. And as soon as all of that is done, the game report is done as well. You can submit it. And again, it will take a couple of seconds to load. There it is. Match has now been added to the database. You will be redirected to the match page. And this is the match page, and as you can see, all of that is correct. Shows us the time on attack we entered, shows us the penalties, the 3 stars, all of the events, all of the individual stats, and our press conference. So that's basically it. I think that's a very cool feature Lurkins has been working on here. It's working perfectly, except for one case, which is if your game was disconnected. And if the game got disconnected, you won't be able to select the game from that drop-down menu because, you know, we can see if the game was disconnected or not, and it wouldn't make a lot of sense. So in case you got a disconnected game, you still need to use the old way of reporting stats. Otherwise, if the game went through correctly, you can use the new API. You still need to take a few pictures. The first one is of the game overview to report time on attack and penalties. And the second or third picture is for all of the game events. So all of the goals scored and all of the penalties. That's the only thing you need to do. I'm looking forward to every one of you trying it out soon. And yeah, please tell us how it works.